Hi guys, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to my channel and to another plan with me. This is for the week of February 3rd through the 9th, and this is my second and possibly final Valentine's Day kit or spread. Maybe. I don't know if I'm going to do one more after my West Virginia week, but for sure my second one. And this is the Cherry on Top kit from Scribble Co. I did pull in a couple of underlays, so these are the heart confetti underlays from my shop in the red sparkle. And guys, again, we're one step closer to me working on doing shop stuff again because the paper foiled and that's all I care about. And then I use this red sparkle foil bundle from Scribble Co. And the reason why I'm pulling in the underlays is because I didn't like that it was just bougie boxes. I wanted specifically heart underlays, so that was why we pulled them in. Let's see what happened this week. This was the week that our mailbox got broken into, and then this was the week that I stopped the caffeine and my birth control. So, apologies in advance because this week is going to be a little rough, because it's going to be me marking literally side effects up the wazoo, because that was the extent of my week. I literally just did nothing for most of this week because I was going through some withdrawals from both the caffeine as well as the birth control. And I explained kind of in my last plan with me a little bit about the birth control, why I stopped it. But for anyone who didn't watch my last plan with me, I was on birth control for about 6 months or so, something like that. I don't exactly know the correct date. And I was having side effects still after 7 months, like headache, nausea constantly. And then I was noticing a bunch of mood swings, and I was like, is this normal? Am I supposed to be like feeling this really tired? This like upset about things? Like, is this normal? And even the guy I'm dating, he straight out was like, you might want to see if going off of it would be beneficial. And like both of us agreed that like going off of it would probably be beneficial. So I did go off of it because I wanted to see what my body would do. I also ended up having high blood pressure from it. Because, and don't ask me why, but my dentist, for some reason, when I went to go get my filling, they take my blood pressure. I don't know if that's why. Every single, like, coworker that I've said that to, they're like, why do they do that? And I'm like, I don't know. But because of that, when I went, I found out that my blood pressure was elevated. And before I went on the birth control, I never had a high blood pressure in any type of way. Now, to be fair, this also could have been because I was drinking a bunch of caffeine because I was tired all the time because the birth control was making me tired. So it could have been one of the two. It could have either been the caffeine or the birth control. We'll never know. Either way, I was planning on trying to go off of it anyway because I was already still having nausea. I was still having side effects from it that did not include the high blood pressure. But the high blood pressure was what finally like made me be like, okay, I need to go off this. So I went off it this week and I stopped the caffeine at the same time. Should I have done both at the same time? No. However, looking back on it, I'm glad I got rid of both of them and got them out of the way. But the side effects were wild, which is why you guys will see that I'm marking like headaches all the time, nausea, just fatigue and stuff like that. Like it was bad. And most of it I believe was from the caffeine. It wasn't from the birth control. But even then I still have a little bit, like a whole month later, I still have a little bit of residual birth control side effects from going off of it. Like my hormones are just still a little wild, but I don't have the brain fog. I'm not tired anymore. Well, sometimes I'm a little tired. Just depends on my like amount of sleep, but I feel so much better just not being on it. And that sucks because now I have the anxiety obviously of not being on it. So it's like a catch-22 type of situation. But yes, that is the main thing of this week is just me trying to figure out my life. And I was lazy for most of the week. I played The Sims for a good portion of it because I just had a headache and was not feeling good. And I just was having a rough time this week, which, you know what, it's okay because I did it to myself. Because like I said, I probably should not have done both of them at the same time. But that was my own decision, and looking back on it, would never do that again. Would probably do the caffeine first and then go off the birth control or vice versa. Probably actually the birth control then the caffeine. But I've been trying to get off of caffeine for a long time, purely just because I would go like 5 hours into my day and I would need a coffee or caffeine because I would get a headache, and I did not like being reliant on that. So I was already planning on going off of the caffeine, but this just kind of helped expedite it a little bit because of the elevated blood pressure that I had. So yes, that is the base. We're gonna get into the day by day. So as always, as every Monday has been for the last like 5 weeks, I am marking all of my assignments on Monday. So I did have my written assignment with the paper due sticker from Once More with Love, and then the scripts are from my shop if anyone's curious. And then I did do a case study analysis again. This was number 4. So I used a paper and milk Maro with a highlighter for that. And then I did some discussion responses, and I used a group project Munchkin, and then the script again is from my shop. Excuse me. And then we did go on a date on this day. So I, as we usually do, because we try to figure out our lives when we go on dates, I did, actually, he probably called me. I called my man on this day, but I used a Munchkin from Once More with Love for that. And then I will fill in the script later. I just don't fill it out now because of his name. I'm just keeping him private for the time being until I decide to divulge his name, which I know it's just a name, but for now we're keeping it private. On the second half of a Monday, I did mark that we went on a date. I'm so excited that I get to use date stickers. It makes me happy because I have so many date scripts from like previous samplers that I've never used, and I'm like, I get to use them now. So I used a Munchkin and a date script from the foil bundle, and then we did get Chipotle. That's all we did for our date. We got Chipotle, and I used a burrito from, I think it was from the Coffee Monsters Co. I could be wrong, and the Chipotle script is from my shop. And then we went shopping. We just went to the mall afterward because we were like, what else do we want to do? And we just like walked around the mall. So I used this little couple Munchkins sticker, and then the shopping script is from the foil bundle. Moving on to Tuesday. Tuesday was my payday as always. So I did use both an icon and a script from the foil bundle. And then I did quit caffeine. So it's kind of funny because in my haul that I just did, I didn't realize that I bought these Need Caffeine Munchkin stickers, and I feel like it's really fitting for me to like use the Need Caffeine Munchkin stickers for quitting caffeine. But I just used that because I thought it would fit. So I used that from Once More with Love, and then as one would expect, I had a headache. No one is surprised. But I used a Coffee Monsters Co. emoji and a headache script that is not a custom. It's from my shop. Moving on to the bottom of Tuesday. Tuesday, I marked that I was exhausted because, again, no one's surprised. I'm sorry. This spread is going to be a little redundant because I'm just marking all my side effects that I had from no caffeine. But I used a paper Shire bunny to mark that, and the exhausted script is from my shop, actually in font 3. I don't normally use font 3, but font 3 is really popular, surprisingly. And then I did pay all my bills on this day, so I used a icon from Once More with Love for that, and the pay bills script is from my shop. And I watched some Friends, so I used Monica because she matched the best from the Coffee Monsters Co., and the Friends script is from my shop. Moving on to Wednesday. Wednesday, I stopped my birth control, which you guys already know that, so not surprising there. I used a Once More with Love Munchkin to mark that, and I was already feeling nauseous before I stopped it, but I just marked that I stopped it because I just stopped taking the pill. But I very much so was already nauseous. Like, guys, I cannot tell you how often I was nauseous from taking the birth control. It was kind of wild. But I used a Munchkin to mark that I was nauseous. And then I did cook dinner. This was a little bit out of order because I needed the bigger box for the mailbox getting broken into. I technically cooked dinner a little bit, obviously later in the day. But I did cook dinner on this day, so I used a Scribbler and a cook dinner script from my shop. And then, like I had mentioned, my mailbox got broken into, unfortunately, which it was not just my mailbox. It was a whole string of neighborhood mailboxes that got broken into. It was a lot of them. So there was, whoever was just going through like all of them. And I don't live in a very bad area, so it was just they were trying to break into it. So I used a Munchkin with like a no to mark my mailbox getting broken into. And then I did play The Sims. I went on a whole Sims binge because I was playing the 100 Baby Challenge when the infant update came out. And I got up to like 70 infants on and off until like now, and I was like, I need to finish this. So I finally finished the 100 Baby Challenge, and then I played another one, and I was just on the Sims grind for a little bit, so that's what I was playing, and then I fell off of it again, and I started playing Dreamlight Valley. But for playing The Sims, I used a Coffee Monsters Co. emoji, and the Play Sim script is from Kinsey's Creations, whose shop is no longer open. Moving on to Thursday. Thursday was a rainy day. We had a lot of rain lately. So I used a paper and milk little rain cloud to mark that. And then I marked that there was traffic because, duh, Californians don't know how to drive in the rain in any type of way. So because of that, there's always traffic whenever it's raining. And there's usually always an accident, unfortunately. So I used a scribbler to mark that. And then just the traffic script is from my shop. And then I did mark the croissant jelly cat. So my friend actually gave me a Christmas gift, and in it was a croissant jelly cat. We have a little like running joke, I guess you can say, because we'd always get each other almond croissants for like when we go to coffee places, and she saw it and was like, I need to get you the jelly cat. And like the jelly cats are so expensive, but they're so cute. So she got me the little croissant jelly cat today, and I loved it. It's so cute. So I used a little like heart munchkin to mark that. And then on the second half of Thursday, Lindsay had a headache again because no caffeine. But I used a munchkin to mark that and a headache script from my shop. To be fair, my headaches were only lasting for like a couple hours. It wasn't that bad. Once I slept, it was fine. Or like sometimes I would get it and then it would disappear. It just depended. What actually was worse was the fatigue, which I mark on Saturday. The fatigue was wild. I've never had such bad fatigue in my legs before. Like literally my body was just in pain. I was like, am I dying? Like, what is this? And then I also was having like tingliness and stuff, which was probably from the fatigue, but I was losing my mind. But yeah, after the headache, I marked that I went to In-N-Out because I was probably craving it. So I used an In-N-Out bag from Scribble Co. and the script is from my shop. And then I had nightmares. So on top of me having all the side effects, I also was not sleeping really good. So for the nightmares, I used a munchkin, and then the nightmare script is from Planet Hannah. Moving on to Friday. Friday, I had to do my discussion board as always. So I used a scribbler for that, and the discussion board script is a custom from my shop. And at this point, I just marked so many side effects because like that was how I was feeling. Just so many side effects with a little like wham munchkin, like sobbing, literally me, because I was like, how am I gonna do this? I was really close to like going back on the caffeine, but I was terrified of having a heart attack. So I didn't. Welcome to my anxiety. It's a little rough. But I marked the side effects with like this wah munchkin because it was literally how I felt. And then I did order a jacket on this day. So it was supposed to be when we were in West Virginia raining the whole time, and also in like the 30s. So I didn't have a proper jacket for that. So I ordered like a ski jacket that could survive weather and like rain and stuff like that, and it was a pain in the ass to travel with, but so worth it, so needed. It was actually really nice because I was really warm with that jacket. So I used a Amazon munchkin to mark that, and then I did order groceries again on this day. So I used a scribbler and a grocery run script from the foil bundle, and then I did some cuddling with Bailey. I don't mark a lot of things with Bailey, which I really need to just mark more, especially because she turns 11 in 2 months. I'm not ready for that. But I need to just like mark things with her more because like she deserves to be marked in my planner. So I use I think this is from Beneva Creations. I use a little like red husky, and then the cuddle is from the foil bundle, and the Bailey is from a custom from a shop I don't purchase from anymore. And then I finished my day off by watching Friends. So I used this little like frame icon. I don't know where that's from. I don't know if it's Coffee Monsters Co. or somewhere else. I think it's the Coffee Monsters Co. But I just used that to mark Friends. Moving on to Saturday. Saturday, we did get Dunkin', even though I stopped the caffeine. So I am still marking Dunkin' and Starbucks on Saturdays and Sundays. However, I am not getting caffeine anymore. I am getting an orange juice from Dunkin' because I don't trust my Dunkin' to not give me decaf. And then I'm getting decaf on Sundays. And yes, I know that decaf still has a small amount of caffeine in it. That is the only caffeine that I'm currently consuming is the decaf caffeine decaf coffee on Sundays. So I am technically having a small amount of caffeine, but I'm no longer reliant on it, which is what I care more about. So yes, I did get Dunkin' on this day. I just got my orange juice and some food. So I used a paper milk marrow and a Dunkin' script from Kinsey's Creations. What is happening? Sorry, there's like a car outside that's really loud. And then I did mark the fatigue on this day because like I said, my fatigue was bad. I've never had fatigue that bad in my life. So I used a munchkin to mark that. And I also used another munchkin to mark that I had another headache. On the second half of Saturday, I did call my dad probably on the way home. So I used an icon and a call dad script from my shop. Oh, the icon is from Scribble Co. Sorry. I played some more Sims, and I used a Coffee Monsters Co. emoji, and the Play Sim script is from Kinsey's Creations. And then I did get a loan refund because I accepted the loan, but then they overcharged me or something, so I got a refund on this day. So I used a Paper Bits Co. little icon for that. And then moving on to Sunday for Starbucks, I used a Paper Milk coffee cup, and the coffee run is from the foil bundle. And then it was the Super Bowl. I technically had to do this out of order because I napped before the Super Bowl, but I wanted the big box for the Super Bowl, if that makes sense. So I did it a little out of order, but it was the Super Bowl. I watched it on my breaks. I worked on this day, so it didn't really matter. But I used a Wonton a Million sticker to mark the Super Bowl, and I also don't care for Kendrick Lamar, so I didn't really care about the halftime show. And then I did nap technically before work, but I marked it after the Super Bowl, so I used a scribbler and a nap script from the foil bundle. And then I wrote this down wrong. This was actually me buying seats for the flight, but I wrote check-in for flight. You can't check in for a flight this early, but I accidentally wrote down the wrong thing. So I think on the week after this, I wrote down that I bought the seats, even though that was me checking in for the flight. Yeah, so I just kind of switched them, but that was definitely my bad. I wrote the wrong thing, but I used a really old flight sticker from Scribble Co. to mark that. And I woke up this day with my eye being completely swollen, my eyelid. I think I had a blocked duct or something on it, or I just fell asleep with my makeup on a little too many times. But my eye was swollen on this day, so I wore no makeup and wore glasses at work. So I used a little grin and bear it with like the glasses because I figured it was very fitting for it. And that is everything for this spread. So we'll go ahead and put it back. She's beautiful. I love the deep red in it. Oh my god, it's so pretty. Like, just look at her. Look at her, all the hearts and everything. I love it. So that is everything for the spread. I will flip through what is left in the kit. Maybe. There we go. I was like filming Lindsay. Let's go. That's everything that's left in the kit. I apologize that this entire week was just me complaining about all the symptoms of me stopping caffeine and going off birth control, but it is what it is. Here is a wiggle for you guys so you guys can see the beautiful red foil. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, as always, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And I will see you guys in another video very, very soon. Goodbye. I did that early. Goodbye. There we go.